There was a movie some years ago entitled Henry Poole is Here. Now, the main character, Henry Poole, has been diagnosed as being terminally ill. With that in mind, he purchases a home back in his hometown, an LA suburb, and he awaits as he sees the inevitable, fortified with whiskey and frozen pizza. His solitude and his self-imposed exile are disrupted by his meddling neighbor, Esperanza Martinez, who insists that the face of Christ is embedded in his stucco wall of his house. And she's convinced that this image has miraculous powers. So before long, she's leading pilgrimages to his backyard, including Father Salazar, the local parish priest, to bless the blemish. To Henry, the image is only a water stain. In addition to dealing with Esperanza, Henry finds himself interacting with Dawn and her distant 6-year-old daughter, Millie, who hasn't spoken a word since their father had abandoned the family a year earlier. Dawn also becomes convinced of the image's healing powers when Millie begins to talk after touching it. Others, too, claim to experience miracles. Well, Henry, still involved in whiskey and pizza, resolves to remove the stain and to set straight with the faithful of what he believes to be misplaced belief. He does not believe it. So Henry takes an axe and destroys the image, and in the process destroys the house, which collapses down upon him. The film ends with Henry recovering in the hospital, learning that he, in fact, himself has been healed. Only then is he ready to accept hope and belief and even the possibility of miracles. St. Thomas missed seeing Jesus because he was not with the other disciples. Maybe, like Henry Poole, Thomas's reaction to grief and fear was also to isolate himself. Whatever the reasons, Thomas is skeptical of the testimony of his fellow disciples. Though he has no reason to believe his friends are lying about seeing the risen Christ, Thomas declares that he will not believe until he sees what they have seen. We may wonder, why doesn't Christ appear to each of us as he did to the disciples and to Thomas? Perhaps the lesson here is that the faith is not meant to be individualistic. Our faith rests on the unbroken chain of testimony stretching from St. Thomas and the disciples to today. As we hear in the Acts of the Apostles during this Easter season, the fledgling Christian community grew in number as a result of the teaching of the apostles. So it has always been. Those who are not eyewitnesses of the actual events are called, through the teaching of others, and then to witness to the power of the resurrection. We're also called to be witnesses in our community of faith today. People in our own lives can help point us towards the risen Christ today. So we call upon this Easter season that our faith may be lifted up by the presence of our risen Lord Jesus Christ and by the testimony of the scriptures we hear each week.